Hey, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Come over here. Come over here. Get closer. Get closer. I want to feel your breath. Get close. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey. Hey, baby. You want to know the truth about steamed hams? Well, guess what? You can't handle the truth. Yeah. Superintendent Chalmers was a punk sore at the world, or at least he had been ever since that unforgettable luncheon he had with his good friend and possible lover, Principal Seymour Skinner. Ever since that luncheon, Chalmers had been obsessed with steamed hams, but not because he had an addiction to them or anything like that. No. No, Chalmers was more concerned over the fact that Skinner called them steamed hams, despite the fact they were obviously grilled. One day, Chalmers had gone to Krusty Burger and ordered a Krusty Burger. He took it to his house and looked the hamburger over with a microscope. It looked just like the steamed hams that Skinner had served him just a few nights prior. And just like those hamburgers, this Krusty Burger was obviously grilled. Agreed, if you're Spanish. Chalmers began doing some research by asking people around Springfield if they'd ever heard of steamed hams before, all the while keeping a constant eye on Skinner and his crazy explanations. Chalmers was eventually approached by Virgil the Turk Sollazo, who claimed to be a hamburger importer from Sicily. Sollazo and Chalmers had themselves a drink at Moe's Tavern, where they discussed the steamed hams. What you must understand, my friend, is that steamed hams, as your friend claims, are an Albany expression, Sollazo explained, before continuing with, which means we must go there to discover the truth. What would Chalmers do to Skinner when he found out the truth? He didn't know, in all honesty. Perhaps he'd fire Skinner, but that might be going too far, especially since all Skinner did was serve him hamburgers from Krusty Burger. He didn't try and kill Chalmers by feeding him salty rats you find under a bus and, I don't know, Mr. McCreepy, Ordinary Gamer, Andeol's Home Turf, some other guy. The following day, Chalmers and Sollazo took the bus from Springfield to New York City and arrived at the bus station, catching a cab to Albany. Also, during the cab ride, the driver let out a massive fart, which stunk so bad that Chalmers had to stick his head out of the window to escape it. It smelled like a guy who ate a smelly dog named Chili Charlie and then spat it out before taking a steamy dump on it. Is this necessary? Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Sollazo then patted the driver on the back before saying, "Nice work. I'll remember that." He did this because Sollazo had a... Oh my gosh. I guess there's only one way to say this. He did this because Sollazo had a fetish for farting. A fetish he had since 1933 at the Peace Summit with Don Smellyhound. Wow, I don't know what to say. George Jetson. When they finally reached Albany, Sollazo paid the driver with a small loan of $1 million. They reached a small corner store named Hamburgers and Chips. They asked the chef if he had any steamed hams, to which he replied with a massive, "Yes! Yes!" He then did a funky dance as Chalmers and Sollazo got themselves a table and pummeled those street fighters to dust. The chef then brought their burgers to them and sat there curiously childlike as the two men ate their hamburgers. "These hamburgers are obviously grilled," Chalmers said as he'd nearly finished his burger. No, I mean steamed hams. I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers. A voice called out in the distance as Principal Seymour Skinner came into the restaurant. Skinner! Super Nintendo Chalmers yelled at the top of his lungs. Superintendent Chalmers, I think it's time for a nappy nap, Skinner said as Chalmers and Salazzo passed out onto the floor as their burgers had been drugged. Steamed hams, Skinner said evilly as he and the chef dragged the pair into the basement of the restaurant. Oh man, where's this one headed? They awoke several hours later in a daze. All Chalmers could make out was a small shadowy figure putting some cans of Pepsi onto a baking tray. Seymour, is that you? What are we doing here? I'm scared, Chalmers cried while shaking like a munchkin on crack. You shouldn't have come here, Superintendent, Skinner said ominously before continuing with, I told you steamed hams were an Albany expression, and I told you they were patterned Skinner burgers. An old family recipe. But you didn't listen to me, Skinner said in a harsh but wet voice. Patented bear. Oh, and another thing, Superintendent, Skinner began before continuing again with, you really need to Oh, no. To think who your friends are. Salazzo then appeared behind Skinner with a smug grin on his face. Salazzo! Chalmers yelled at the top of his lungs. Salazzo explained to Chalmers that he was actually a major drug dealer from Turkey who'd become an informant for Skinner. He told Skinner about Chalmers' plans to find out about the steamed hams, as well as his plans to fire him when he discovered the truth about them. So what is the truth, then? The truth about steamed hams? Chalmers asked, to which Skinner replied with, Here he comes now. Suddenly, a big, fat, sweaty man came running in and yelled, Hey! Let's start the game! Huh? Chalmers said, bewildered, as Skinner said, You see, steamed hams are actually made from Sabe's poop. Oh my gosh. What is this? What? Oh, okay. Well, already got this far. Chalmers didn't respond. Skinner then explained that Sabe was an addict to hamburgers. He'd eaten so many of them that he now pooped out pure hamburger patties. This gives them the pure steamy taste. Sabe then demonstrated this by taking a massive dump on Chalmers, and it came out as pure hamburgers freshly cooked from his ass. What the? No! Chalmers couldn't even form a proper sentence, and who could blame him, as Skinner left him to be killed by Salazzo. The chef and Sabe, meanwhile, accompanied Skinner back upstairs. You backstabbing son of a bitch! Chalmers yelled as he tried desperately to break free from his chains. What you've come to understand is that what happened between me and Don Corleone was strictly a business matter. I have great respect for the Don, and I would love to be in his service one day, Salazzo explained as he became quite insane from an addiction to Chewits. Suddenly, Sabe then came falling down the stairs on top of Salazzo, crushing him to death in the process. Well, that was a bit quick, Peppa Pig said as she came in and then left through the cat flap. Cat flaps make your teeth go gray. Sabe then realized Chalmers from his chains, and when Chalmers asked why he did this, Sabe revealed that he had a family back home in Springfield who he missed terribly. He'd been forced to make the steamed hams after being kidnapped by Skinner and the chef whose real name was Harold Joseph. Chalmers agreed to help Sabe kill Skinner and Joseph as they made their way upstairs. Skinner had, however, anticipated Chalmers' escape by having a large group of mobsters waiting to ambush him and Sabe. They survived the attack, however, killing every last hitman who stood in their way. They made their way onto the streets when they saw Skinner and Joseph driving off in the steamed hams mobile. Joseph picked up Chalmers, giving him a piggyback ride, as the two men followed after Skinner and Joseph. The steamed hams mobile ended up crashing outside of an old abandoned warehouse somewhere on Staten Island. Chalmers and Sabe followed Skinner and Joseph inside the warehouse where another large group of hitmen was waiting for them. They survived the attack again and confronted Skinner and Joseph at the top of the warehouse. "What are you thinking, Chalmers? You think they're just going to let you walk after everything you did?" Skinner asked rhetorically. "Well, I'm hoping so," Chalmers said bluntly. Skinner then continued with, "You think I give a shit about the feds or those tired old fucks on the school board? They're using you, Chalmers, just like Salazzo used you, just like I used you, and just like that rat fuck Henry used you," Skinner explained before continuing again with, "And now, you dumb fuck, you're gonna pay for it!" Skinner yelled as he pulled out a Tommy gun, shooting it at the floor. "Shit, I never could fire one of these things," Skinner said while trying to reload his Tommy gun. So Chalmers and Skinner engaged in a violent shootout while Sabe took care of Joseph by eating him in one go. Eventually, Chalmers managed to get 6 shots into Skinner, causing him to fall to the floor very near death. "You know something, Seymour? For the last 10 years, all I've done is kill. I killed for my country. I killed for my family. I killed anyone that got in my way. But this one? This one's for me," Chalmers finished as he shot the fatal bullet into Skinner's head, killing him instantly. Right, so what do we... No, Nintendo. Sabe asked as he and Chalmers made their way out of the warehouse. "Well, after this I'm going to take a rest," Chalmers explained. When they got outside, 2 cars were already parked outside, and a large group of federal agents were there to see them. You see, Chalmers had been sent to gather information on the steamed hams after making a deal with the FBI, who wouldn't stop his corruption from leaking to the press. "Is it done?" one of the feds named Leo asked in a gruff voice which sounded like he'd smoked 5,000 packs of faggots, that means cigarettes. Chalmers nodded, to which Leo replied with, "Excellent. Looks like the celebration is in order. Let's go to Krusty Burger." "Sounds good to me," Leo said as Sabe and Chalmers went to get into the car which Leo was not standing next to. "Come with me, Chalmers. There's more we need to talk about," Leo said, albeit a little sadly, as Chalmers got into the car with him. "Okay, we'll see you other there," Sabe said as he got into the other car, whose driver looked like he was high on toast. As they made their way down the street, Chalmers asked, "So what's the big secret?" Leo didn't respond. Chalmers looked up through the windshield and saw that the car taking Sabe took an unexpected turn and drove off in the completely wrong direction. Hey, what the hell's going on? Where are they taking Sabe?" Chalmers asked furiously. Leo then said in a sad voice, "Sorry, kid. Sabe wasn't part of our deal." Phew. All Chalmers could do now was sit there helplessly, as his new best friend got driven away to whatever fate awaited him at the end of that drive. That's all he could do, as the rain began to violently pour down onto the car. I bless the rain, said